If you love cheesecake but hate cracked tops, dry centers, or burnt edges, this recipe is definitely for you. In this video, I'll be walking you through how to make my strawberry shortcake cheesecake. She is ultra creamy, smooth, and bakes low and slow, so it comes out perfect every single time. Let's get into it. First things first, the crust. I'm using Golden Oreos because they pair perfectly with this cheesecake and they really give you that classic strawberry shortcake vibe. You'll start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees, and while it's heating, you'll line a 9-inch springform pan or cake pan with parchment paper. With the food processor, pulse your Golden Oreos into fine crumbs and then mix in the melted butter until everything is evenly coated. You want the texture of wet sand, not dry, not greasy. Then you're going to press the crust firmly into the bottom of the pan and slightly up the sides because we love our crusts. Hello. I like to use the bottom of a glass to really pack it into the pan. Once you have all of your crust packed into the pan, you will bake the crust for 8 to 10 minutes and then set it aside to cool. Once it's out of the oven, lower the oven temperature to 275 degrees. Yes, that low. Trust me. Now, instead of a traditional water bath, we're doing a steam bath. So while the oven is preheating to 275 degrees, bring a pot of water to a boil. Pour that water into a wide, shallow pan and place it on the bottom rack of your oven. This adds moisture to the oven, helps prevent cracks, and eliminates the risk of water leaking into our cheesecake because we don't have time for that. Now it's time to make the filling. All of your dairy ingredients should be room temperature. If you use cold ingredients, you will have lumpy batter, and we don't do that over here. Start by beating 1 block of cream cheese on medium speed for about 2 to 3 minutes until smooth and creamy. Add in the sugar and cornstarch and mix until it is fully combined. The cornstarch will help to stabilize the cheesecake and keeps the texture creamy instead of dense. Gradually add the remaining blocks of cream cheese one at a time, mixing and scraping the bowl as you go. Add the vanilla, then the eggs, one at a time on low speed. Low speed is key here, okay? Don't get to going crazy with your mixer now, okay? Calm down. You are mixing, you're not whipping air into it. Finally, blend in the heavy cream just until combined. The batter should be silky, smooth, and pourable with no lumps. Now pour the filling into your cooled crust and add 2 tablespoons of strawberry topping. Then gently marble it through the batter. You know, make it look sexy. Okay, so I just put my cheesecake in the oven. It is going to be in there for about 60 to 75 minutes. I know you're thinking like, dang, that's a long time. Be patient, okay? Because cheesecakes want to bake low and slow. They're not cakes. They don't need to be baked at 350 degrees for 40 minutes. They want to take their time, be patient, don't rush the process. I got you. Once the oven goes off, we're gonna check our cheesecake. You have 2 options. You can either do the jiggle test, where you gently shake the cheesecake to see if the center is still a little jiggly like jello and the sides are set and puffy, or you could do it the way that I prefer, which is using a thermometer, okay? Get one if you don't have one. Your cheesecake should be 150 degrees. Anything less, it needs more time. I like to set my oven at 60 minutes. So at the 60-minute mark, I'll check my cheesecake. If it's still not done, I'll put it in for another, I'll keep it in for another 5 minutes. Once our cheesecake is at 150 degrees, we're gonna turn the oven off. Just press off on your oven. That's all you're gonna do. You're gonna leave your cheesecake in there with the door closed. That heat is going to continue to bake your cheesecake all the way through. The next thing we're gonna do after that 60 minutes, we're gonna crack the oven door. You can use a wooden spatula or an oven mitt. You're gonna crack the door for 30 minutes and allow your cheesecake to slowly, gradually come to room temperature, because we don't wanna take it from a very hot temperature to a cold temperature or whatever temperature our house is, because it's gonna shock it and that's how you end up with cracks, and we don't want that. So be patient and stay with me. Once my cheesecake is completely done baking, I like to cover it with plastic wrap and foil and put it in the freezer overnight to chill. I know that sounds like a long time, but you really have to allow cheesecakes enough time to set and cool properly. You can't rush it. Once I'm ready to apply my crumble topping, I remove my cheesecake from the freezer, and I like to use an offset spatula to run around the edges and release it from the pan. Because I'm using a cake pan, I do have to do a little bit more work. So you see I'm beating it up a little bit, but that is because when I bake cheesecakes in cake pans, they turn out so much better than when I use a traditional springform pan. For the strawberry shortcake topping, I post Golden Oreos and freeze-dried strawberries until the texture resembles sand. I'm not adding any butter. I am only using Golden Oreos and freeze-dried strawberries. Then I add a very thin layer of buttercream to a cake circle, and I sit my cheesecake on that. Next, I add another thin layer of buttercream to the outside of my cheesecake. So this is going to act like the glue that's going to help our crumble topping stick to the cheesecake. I like to use this plastic smoother to make sure that my buttercream is even. Me personally, I like for my strawberry shortcake cakes and cheesecakes to be very neat. I don't like my crumble to be messy and have a lot of crumbs everywhere. Once my buttercream is applied, I take my crumble and press it onto the sides and the top of my cake. And I am just gonna start smoothing as I'm applying. So I like to use the palm of my hand, make sure that I'm going in and getting it as smooth as possible. Once majority of my crumble is applied to the cheesecake, I like to use a fondant smoother and go in and press all of the crumble into the cheesecake and clean up the side. Then I finish with a piped buttercream border. You can use any buttercream. You can also make some whipped cream. Goes really well with this. I used to top my cheesecakes with fresh strawberries, but I honestly like how it looks with this clean look and nothing else on top of the cheesecake. It's just very minimalist. And that's it. A strawberry shortcake cheesecake that's creamy, smooth, crack-free, and honestly just really hard to mess up. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and save this recipe for later.